All right. I'm probably going to insert this into the VOD stream because it was kind of short and stupid, and obviously I'm much smarter and more on it right now. It's only been like half an hour or something, so, fully awake now. Laser fun. No. All right. Yeah, video by Coffeezilla about some dude who's been scamming people. Obviously, that's his whole shtick.
I may have created a monster and I want to talk about it. It's Caleb Maddox, the young entrepreneur, millionaire
He looks untrustworthy
sales guy, just got sued by the FTC.
and
We're going to
weird.
go over it. This smoke is way too much. Hold on one second. Okay, we're back. Sorry. I do feel like a Sith Lord or something for not doing more to stop this. Guys, FTC just sued Caleb Maddox and his business partner for something called Air AI, which is like this sales company where they would do all your calls for you using.
Yeah, part of me thinks like you should be suspicious whenever someone like preaches some sort of brand new innovation and that they're just giving it to you somehow and that it's going to make you a millionaire. Because like it's one of those things like I think he mentions this sometimes. Like if they had that sort of stuff that would just make you a millionaire overnight or something like that, they wouldn't be giving it to you. They would be using it for themselves. And it's one of those things I think too where like if you have that type of like innovation, once it reaches a saturation point, once a certain amount of people have it, it's no longer useful. It loses its utility. So if you have something that gives you an edge, why would you give that edge to everyone? At which point there is no edge anymore. You've lost the advantage. So maybe just in general, be skeptical of people who are promising you the moon if they're promising the moon to a whole bunch of other people as well.
The magic of AI. Of course, it was overpromised, underdelivered.
AI, new Bluetooth. Okay, they just tack it onto everything now. Yeah, some sort of stupid nothing word. Yeah, nah, never mind.
But unfortunately, a lot of people left feeling completely scammed.
Actually,
So much to
one
the
thing,
point that even among C.
this guy actually has been having some stuff recently. He had been in a lawsuit with Logan Paul, the pompous blowhard from. I think he used to do Vines back in the day. Then he was a fighter for a while or something. I don't know. Maybe there's mixed and matches, but there's been some. I think there's been some developments lately, so I'll have to look that up sometime here. There's been some developments in the case, perhaps, possibly.
Of overpromising by AI companies, the FTC literally sued them because they were causing losses of up to $250,000 for individual businesses. The complaint
Hmm.
says Caleb and his company bilked consumers out of roughly $19
What?
million.
Bilked? Bilk. Bilk. Give me a second. That's one I don't know. Like blackmail and milk? Bilk. Huh. To obtain or withhold money from someone by deceit without justification. Interesting. I'm going to use that one probably. Another fun one. Chicanery. I think it means some sort of fraudulent activity. Now I have to look that one up. Chicanery. Chicanery. Because it's a CHI. The use of trickery to achieve political, financial, or legal purposes. Nice.
The course of a few years, according to the FTC. Now, huge news. But I want you to know, we knew Caleb's was a grifter a long time ago. He was on our radar, not one, not two.
What's the Longmont Potion Castle? I'm seeing it as his t-shirt. I don't know if it's one of his things or what.
Not three, but 5 years ago. You can see us here having a debate with.
They both look like babyface, full on stuff. That's the one thing with some people. Like the beard, I think helps with a lot of guys to like. I think it helps young guys to look older, and it helps old guys to look younger. It's just kind of almost a little bit of an equalizer, I think. Yeah, I like mine. With mine case, I tend to have like a bit of a weak chin, I think. So can only help that. At least with the style I have, I think it helps maybe a little bit.
At the time, I guess he was 19 or something. The millionaire visionary, who had called himself.
Don't ever trust someone who calls himself a millionaire visionary. Just on principle, I would say don't ever trust someone.
And, he was basically pitching back then something called the YTA method. And he made millions of dollars with that, too. Listen, the kid could sell. Well, it turns out you can sell if you overpromise stuff. And basically, that's exactly what he did. And, he says, even on this call, if you bought his course, he was liable if you didn't basically succeed. He said it was our responsibility to make people succeed if they bought it. I'm going to play a clip from our...
I feel like sometimes when companies say stuff like that, when they say like satisfaction or your money back, I feel like they almost have to put some sort of caveat into that. Like it can't be like that simple where it's just like I'm not satisfied or you'll love it or your money back. Like it just feels like a kind of a vague sort of what's the word? Yeah, it's just sort of like a vague nothing type of phrase where like they have to have some sort of like red tape in the background that says no, you can't just say I don't like it or something. I don't know. And maybe sometimes, at least if they're starting their company out, maybe they just want a lot of goodwill, so they actually do it. But it feels like it's a long-term strategy that wouldn't really fly.
Little debate together back when me and Caleb were nothing but wee little pups, okay? And it was my chance to stop this man before he wreaked havoc on the world.
Then you call poor people passing over opportunities repeatedly. Poor people are passing over opportunities repeatedly.
I don't tell people in YouTube automation that it's their fault if they don't succeed. I don't tell people that.
You just tell poor people that.
But I will say, no. I say to everyone, if someone is a YTA, I believe they took advantage of the opportunity. It's our job to get them results. So I understand where you're coming from, but I guess everyone can't understand greatness. And I've always believed small-minded people.
For the love. You just said not everyone can understand greatness. Now, where were we? I might actually have to rewind this a little bit. Hopefully I got a good still up because I want to use that as the thumbnail. It's like the perfect face. It's kind of avarice or whatever.
They took advantage of the opportunity. It's our job to get
Oh yeah, he was saying some people just don't understand greatness or something.
the results. So I understand where you're coming from, but I guess everyone can't understand greatness. And
that's something that actually irks me when people say that everyone can't understand it. What they mean is not everyone can understand this. That's one speech impediment that people need to figure out. Okay, there's a difference there. Know the difference. You're saying everyone can't understand. Not everyone can understand this thing, or not everyone does understand this thing. Yeah.
Never understand big thinkers.
It's just your typical
never understand.
Grifter slop, believe in yourself hard enough, whatever. But the core thing that he says there,
kind of meaningless drivel or platitudes. All right, stop trying to be clever.
Look, if you sign up to his YTA method, it's his responsibility to make you successful. But follow up, a few short months later after that call, he went ahead and emailed me. And he said, "Hi, Coffee. Hope life is treating you well. I'm shooting you a message because I'd like to do a live stream with you in the middle of the week." He said he wanted to make a public confession about the YTA. He has nothing to pitch. Then he gave me a title sample, 18-year-old millionaire's public confession. Mm-hmm. This was my chance. I could have had the confession from the man back then. I tell him to be even more specific, and he says, basically, I want to explain why we have practically shut down selling YTA and processed $1.5 million in refunds. I want to retract some things I said in the previous interview and come clean. I respond, I'm fair enough. I'm down to hear you out. When's good for you? And then I followed up, and I got no response. The window had closed. But that wasn't even my...
So... is he being nice, or is he just trying to pull some fast thing?
Last chance to talk to Caleb, because again, on November 2022, 2 years later, he asks if I'm open to having a call this week. He only needs 10 minutes. I respond, what?
Look at that. Yeah.
What's it about?
All right, so help me, we're going to get this thing done if it is the end of me.
No response, okay? But I could have followed up. Maybe I could have reached the guy, okay? I could have fixed him.
Oh dear.
Now that all brings us to 2024, 2025 when Air AI gets released. This is a chatbot
Uh,
where
That's kind of the difficult. Like, I guess maybe it'll come out later whether or not he was genuine in this type of thing. But it's kind of sad when you miss chances like that. It's like the tragic moment in the movie where like the villain wants to turn to the right side, but the evil. That's never mind. It was a side tangent. Never mind.
Caleb Maddox was behind it and basically promised that, they could do sales calls with their AI. And it was wildly overpromised and underdelivered for people. But here's a basic part of the demo that I want to show you real quick.
Tesla Motors. How's your day going so far?
It's going pretty good, my man. How about yourself? You said from Tesla, right?
I You probably have to take someone's word who knows a lot more about tech than me, but I feel like this is maybe AI in general is overhyped. Like it's one of those things where like a new thing comes out and the maybe the assumption from people who don't know a lot about it is that the utility of this thing is limitless and it's just the next greatest thing. I don't know. It just feels like I feel like people maybe overhype AI a little bit. Good at replicating stuff, good at mimicking stuff, or just maybe creating variations on a theme, but I have my doubts as to the unlimited utility of it.
It's the car company?
Yeah, that's right. I'm calling from Tesla Motors, the car company.
So that's the basic idea. It's a chat bot where you buy their license and it'll handle all your sales calls. That was kind of the pitch. That was kind of the idea. And now to be clear, a lot of companies are trying to do this. What made Caleb Maddox and his goons different?
That's the thing is, like, I feel like in a lot of scenarios where you're having to deal with people are weird enough that they can tie an AI chatbot up into knots a little bit. Like the thing is, like, I think robots, computers, they have to make sense a little bit, and people really don't make sense in a lot of ways. So in my mind, like the notion of using chatbots or robots in any sense to replicate human interaction with regards to things like sales calls or cashiers or stuff like that, it feels like there's maybe always going to be a necessity in some sense for like a human element. You'll need a human element in some sense to figure out the more complex or unorthodox scenarios that arise in that area. Like maybe 99% of the time the robot would be fine and that it'll be able to answer any question you have, but there's always going to be that the tiny minority of the time where you actually do need a human doing stuff.
Is that they were claiming that their AI technology can have full 10 to 40 minute long conversations that sound like a real human with infinite memory, perfect recall.
And you know what's actually weird? The other day at McDonald's, I had like a false positive where I literally thought the guy talking to me was a robot. It was super. I guess I didn't mean to offend the guy, but he literally just sounded like it was kind of this generic type of voice, and like I was literally just like, yeah, it's totally a robot. Or at least that was my thought. That yeah, it was just some sort of robot that was talking to me or something. Yeah, again, did not mean to be offensive to the guy, but it just felt like a very generic type of voice and in responses, or I guess like a generic tone or something. It just got me to have a false positive, and that thing might happen more and more as we get into this age of AI. That sounds too dramatic.
Can autonomously take actions across 5,000 applications and do the entire job of a full-time agent without having to be trained, managed, or motivated. To do this, you had to get the Air AI Access card. Now, in a twist that will surprise almost no one, this conversational AI really didn't work. The FTC alleges the conversational AI technology was never available and that you had to instead build this like long tree of decisions for the AI to take in order to act.
It's like a dialogue tree. And again, it feels like that is the that is maybe the problem with AI in general, is that it's meant to replicate the notion of free will or of decision making, like of a genuine, like organic life form. It's meant to replicate that, but it is, I think, in fact, probably limited in some regards. Like it doesn't have actual decision making abilities. It doesn't have like actual creativity. Like it's going to try to replicate that, but it's not the same thing exactly. It doesn't have like genuine creativity. It's only as good as the people that are programming it to and it's only as complete as their ability to anticipate problems, I guess. That would be my theory anyways.
Actually make it work, saying that getting the conversational AI to function at all times requires a substantial time commitment where consumers must pre-script answers for every potential question, making it nearly impossible to use. Now, in addition to that, they had a twist to the whole offer where instead of like using the technology, guess what? You could also sell the technology to other people because of course.
So like a pyramid scheme? It sounds like what's yeah. Anyways. Yeah, that's a video by Coffeezilla. I could have stopped him, so go check that out if you want to.